Hi, I'm Leonard James D. Postrado, and we're continuing with Module 7 on monitoring and evaluating social marketing and social mobilization programs. Today, we'll dive into impact evaluation, a topic that's both challenging and costly, but absolutely important. Impact evaluation takes us beyond the surface level of our objectives and helps answer the ultimate question: was your goal truly realized? It's about filling in those final missing pieces of the measurement puzzle. And to do this, we rely heavily on data. Let's explore what makes this type of evaluation so important and how we can make it work. Before we go further, let's take a moment to understand what impact truly means. The OECD DAC defines impact as the positive and negative, primary and secondary long-term effects generated by a development intervention. These effects can be direct or indirect, intended or even completely unintended. Essentially, impact goes beyond the surface, capturing the full range of changes an intervention creates in the long run. When we talk about impact evaluation, it's about seeing the full picture of an intervention's effects. It goes beyond simply asking whether the intended goals were met. Impact evaluation dives deeper, exploring unintended outcomes, whether they're positive surprises or unforeseen challenges. This comprehensive approach allows us to understand how a program, a policy, or activity like capacity building or advocacy has truly influenced its environment. By capturing this broader impact, evaluators can refine strategies, ensuring accountability, and work toward sustainable, meaningful outcomes that make a real difference. Always remember, identifying and engaging primary intended users of an impact evaluation is a critical step. Whether these users are organizations or individuals, their involvement throughout the evaluation process is key. It ensures that the findings are not only practical and relevant, but also tailored to meet their specific needs. This collaboration doesn't just enhance the quality of the evaluation, it amplifies its overall value and impact, making the insights more actionable and meaningful. As we prepare for an impact evaluation, it's essential to begin with a solid foundation, and this starts with the theory of change. A theory of change is not just an optional tool, it's a critical element in every impact evaluation. Think of it as the backbone of the evaluation process. By outlining the mechanisms of the intervention, a theory of change helps us to understand the pathway from inputs and activities to desired impacts. Moreover, it provides us with the structure we need to measure those effects effectively. Without it, we're missing the blueprint that guides us in evaluating what works and why. So as you move forward, remember that integrating a theory of change into your impact evaluation is a non-negotiable step in ensuring that the evaluation is both robust and meaningful. Theory of change is essentially a roadmap. It explains how specific activities are expected to lead to a sequence of results that ultimately contribute to achieving the intended impacts. What's great about a theory of change is its flexibility. It can be applied to various levels of intervention, whether it's a single event, a project, a broader program, a policy, an overarching strategy, or even an organization. By mapping out the pathways to impact, it provides clarity on how change is expected to happen. A theory of change can be designed to suit different types of interventions. For one, it works well with interventions where objectives and activities are clearly identified and carefully planned in advance, ensuring a structured and predictable pathway to the desired impacts. On the other hand, it can also accommodate interventions that evolve over time, adapting to emerging challenges, opportunities, or decisions made collaboratively with partners and stakeholders. This flexibility allows the theory of change to remain relevant even when the intervention takes a dynamic and responsive approach. To build a strong theory of change, it's crucial to draw from a variety of sources. This includes conducting a needs assessment to understand the context, reviewing documented objectives to align with the intervention's goals, and analyzing previous research and evaluations for insights. Incorporating established theories and practices adds depth, while expert opinions provide valuable perspectives. Don't forget to engage stakeholders. Their mental models and feedback are key to ensuring that the theory of change is grounded and actionable. A strong theory of change is essential as it offers a clear and structured explanation of how a program or intervention is designed to achieve its goals. It pinpoints the causal mechanisms that drive the expected results, forming the backbone for understanding of how the intervention is supposed to work. Impact evaluation plays a crucial role in this framework. It assesses success at different points along the causal chain and, when necessary, investigates alternative pathways to ensure the intended outcomes are realized. By aligning the theory of change with impact evaluation, we enhance our ability to measure and refine interventions for greater effectiveness. Let's look at an example of an overly simple theory of change. Sometimes the term is used generally to refer to any version of this process, including a results chain, which shows a series of boxes from inputs to outputs, outcomes, and impacts. Imagine this. You provide funding and materials, then use these resources to produce and distribute a newsletter. The assumption here is that the newsletter will increase knowledge, and as a result, people will change their behaviors. These behaviors changes are then expected to lead to better health outcomes. Now, while this sounds straightforward, it is important to remember that real-world interventions are rarely this linear. There are often additional factors at play, like how the newsletter is received, whether the information resonates with the audience, and if external barriers prevent behavior change. A robust theory of change needs to account for these complexities to truly reflect how change happens. Quality impact evaluation is all about achieving balance among key criteria. First, validity. Validity of the evaluation, which is about the accurate and credible results. Number 2, utility. Utility ensures that the findings are timely, relevant, and actionable. Number 3, feasibility. It keeps the process realistic, aligning it with available resource and capacities. And lastly, ethics. Ethics shapes the evaluation with fairness, respect, and responsibility, ensuring it's conducted in a manner that upholds integrity. Let's dive into the types of questions we ask during an impact evaluation. First, we start with normative questions, which defines what success looks like through benchmarks or standards. Next is descriptive questions, which uses quantitative data and qualitative stories to understand what's happening in the program. Then we have causal questions to uncover whether the changes we see are caused by the intervention itself. Lastly, we use evaluative questions to set clear criteria to assess success and make evidence-based judgments about programs' overall value. Having an output doesn't automatically equate to making an impact. Outputs are the immediate tangible deliverables of an intervention, such as conducted workshops, distributed resources, or drafted policies. These are important milestones, but only represent the initial layer of success. Impact, however, digs into the transformation these outputs bring about. It looks at the broader long-term effects, like shifts in behaviors, improved quality of life, or addressing inequalities. Impact is the true measure of whether communication efforts have resulted in meaningful, sustainable change in communities. Now let's take a moment to reflect on these key guiding questions. Why should we prioritize creating meaningful impacts rather than simply focusing on delivering outputs? And why does understanding unintended impacts play a critical role in evaluating the effectiveness of an intervention? I invite you to share your thoughts and perspectives on these questions in the discussion forum. I look forward to hearing your contributions.